I don't want to do that just because... Oh my god. Holy crap. So many memories and so little time to talk about it.
Well, the theme here is Kirby and Chris. We covered a lot of Kirby, or not as well. We covered a bit of Kirby because we're playing a Kirby game. But I wanted to ask you a bit more, not just your first Kirby game, but a bit more Kirby stories if either of you have them.
I guess I'll give Evilpoptart a few minutes to think. Like I said, my first experience was with Kirby was actually on the Nintendo 64. I guess I was playing so much Mario, Zelda, Mega Man that I couldn't play everything. So I guess Kirby was just one of those things that never really entered my radar. I ended up borrowing Crystal Shards on the 64 from a friend and beat it 100%. And I had a ton of fun doing it. And then I gave it back, but I still never super got into any Kirby games. Like, I never really followed up with it, with any of the Game Boy Advance ones. I didn't get any of the Wii ones or anything like that. Of course, I collect, the older games. So as I picked up Kirby's Adventure on the NES, I sat down and played through all of that. But still, Kirby's, I haven't really given it the time that it deserves. But I guess that's just the side effect of there's too many games that need to be played and not enough time, unfortunately. They're fun games, though.
Ah, that went my nice slow cruise down to the bottom. Oh, there's a secret below us, actually. Oh, do I? Oh, I can do that. Okay, good. Somewhere here is a hidden door. There it is. And a switch.
This game likes its hidden doors. I hate the ones that are like, it doesn't even show that there's a door. It's like, press up in this completely random spot. It's like but yeah, that's my Kirby story.
Well, I guess my Kirby story... What was the question again? Your first Kirby game or just a Kirby?
Well, you can start with your first Kirby game if you want to.
Pretty much it's Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy. Very first Kirby game. I liked Kirby's Dream Land 2. That's about my go-to game. The original one is nice. I could beat it. I mean, hell, I can remember playing my Game Boy, having six AA batteries in the damn thing. Plus, I still have it, and it still works. I am hugely surprised it does, and it hasn't corroded. I have the rechargeable battery pack for the big gray Game Boy.
Ooh.
Well, what did you say takes 6 AA's?
4.
Yeah, 4.
Sorry, excuse me, 4.
No, I was wondering, it's like, is there something I'm not remembering? Okay.
No. Thank you for the correction. You're correct. 4 AA's. And you only got, what? Maybe about an hour out of it? At most. So I had the rechargeable battery pack for the game, for the big old gray, and it still works. What a kludge it is! It's very dangerous too. They exploded, and that's why they took it off the market. Which is why I'm surprised mine hasn't exploded either. But it still works. What it is it's a battery pack that has 2 jacks on each side of the battery. You could technically charge the battery outside of your big gray and run it on the AC adapter also while playing it, which is why it has 2 ends on it. So it has 2 AV jacks with it. So you could plug a battery brick into the wall, plug the one cable into the battery, and then plug the other cable into the opposite end of the battery, and then plug that into the big gray. So basically it was charging it while it was able to play. Basically what it was doing was it was a pass-through. But that's why it exploded, because it would overcharge it, because it wouldn't know when to stop charging. But it actually fits in the back too. Once it was charged, you could stick it in the back of the big gray and it would be fine. And it was so versatile because if you ran out of batteries, you could just plug it in your parallel and then run it that way, and then still have battery life. Only problem was if you had it in the Game Boy, you had to save real quick, eject it, and then plug it in. But I've got the clip for it. You actually had a clip for it that if you plugged it in, you could put it on your waist. So there's a clip for it. I actually have the original Game Boy carrying case, the black one. It's black, and it's the side case. It's got the big old pouch, and then when you lifted it and when you opened it, it had like stretchy bands for like 3 or 4 games in there. I've originally got that, and then there was a side pouch for your link and transfer cable. I remember carrying that thing all over the place. I'd have to dig it out. I think it's still at my parents' house, but I still have the original battery pack for it, and all the accessories for that. I also have the magnifier screen for the big gray. Believe it or not, they made a magnifier screen for it. I have that. I also have a magnifier screen for Game Gear. Ha! There's a name from the blast from the past. That was 6 AA batteries. That's where I was pulling the 6
Yeah,
from.
the Game Gear and the Atari Lynx.
Oh
and
my
then Virtual
God.
Boy, if you want to talk about that.
Oh my god, my Game Gear. I have so many games with the Game Gear. I don't know why I don't play that more often. But you only got like 30 minutes on 6 AA batteries with a color screen. It was like, holy shit. But that's when they started getting smart, including power jacks on handheld consoles to play them off of AC power versus batteries. So that was kind of a nice touch that they finally were getting the hint on that. But yeah, I've got the magnifier screen for that. I've got the original carrying case for my Game Gear too. Got the original brick. A crap ton of spare cases to store the games in. The game.
Yeah, I have. And the problem is, as far as storing your games go, those things like double the thickness of a game, so it's so hard to store them with each of them in the case. So I end up taking them out.
Yeah.
So I have bags full of those plastic thick cases that I'm not using.
Yep. Do you have any Game Boy ones? I'll take some Game Boy ones off your hand. I need some.
I might have a couple extra Game Boy ones. They weren't as bulky as the Game Gear ones.
Yeah, the Game Gear ones were fucking huge.
Yeah.
But I am missing a couple for Game Boy. I would love to try to complete them. I only need like 3 or 4, just because I like having the cases for that. And but yeah, so my first Kirby, Game Boy. But just in general, after that, I don't know. I don't believe I really bought anything after Game Boy for Kirby. I'm trying to think, was there anything on Super NES?
Yeah.
There was Kirby Superstar on the SNES, which I have actually never played myself. There's a remake of Kirby Superstar called Kirby Superstar Ultra, and I want to get that. I'm going to be looking for that next time we go to the Midwest Gaming Classic.
Adventure 3 was also on Super Nintendo, wasn't it?
Yes, that too. That's another one that I haven't played. My actual next Kirby game after Kirby Adventure, and I thought it was the next Kirby game, was the one on the N64, Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, which, because my parents didn't have an N64, nor did I have one, I would always have to go to my uncle's house to play. And the thing I remember about that game is, like, when we played through it originally, me and my cousin, there's a lot of, like, gates or other things like that that had, like, different colors that represent what power-ups you're supposed to use to open them up, but I didn't understand that. So I'd always wonder, how in the world do I figure out which power-up to go to things? So I'd enter a level with this power-up and then see if that would open the door. No, next power-up, no, next power-up, no. I would go through, like, all the power-ups in the game until one finally opened the door.
Ouch.
Or whatever was on in the way.
So see, there you go. That's why chronologically I've never played this game, and I've only played the Game Boy ones. Partly because of my rage for Nintendo after the Game Boy Color, going into the whole Game Boy Advance thing and then the Game Boy SP thing.
What was wrong with that?
Just when I had the Game Boy Color, I was enjoying everything on it, and then they come out with the Game Boy Advance, and they say, yeah, you need to buy this one instead, and all new cartridges, and it was like, yeah.
Well, but look at the graphics. I mean, I understand, too. My first Game Boy was a color, and I had that for a few years, and then the Advance came out, and I loved the Advance. It was backwards compatible, the graphics on the Game Boy Advance games were great, you can make the screen bigger for your old Game Boy games. I loved the Game Boy Advance. I didn't get the SP when it was new, because, I mean, it was just backlight, and I had a worm light, one of those things that hangs over the screen.
Yes.
Although these days, I have some SPs, and I do love the SP now, although I didn't have an interest in buying one back in the day. But overall, I had no gripes with the Game Boy Advance. I thought it was pretty neat.
I don't remember exactly why I cursed Game Boys, but it was just after something happened. I honestly don't remember what happened, why I said screw you, Nintendo, and something obviously went awry, majorly. And my last Game Boy was the Game Boy Color. I have yet to actually buy a Game Boy from Nintendo ever since then. Now, if I had a chance to, I would buy a Game Boy SP with the backlight and then mod it to put it into an advanced, put the screen inside of an advanced. That would be really nice.
You can buy Game Boy Advances that people have modded to have a backlight.
Yeah, and they frickin' cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, if you think you can... I guess I'm just not handy, but if you can do it cheaper, then yeah.
Well, it would just be to say I have one, but ultimately, we're in the computer age now. If I really wanted to play any Game Boy Advance, any Game Boy SP, and any further Game Boy item, the emulators are great. Those emulators have been picked apart so freaking much. I mean, hell, my Ouya is my #1 console in my living room, believe it or not. Just because I'm an old school gamer, and I don't need anything other than that. Well, other than my 360, my PlayStation 3 for, you know, DVDs, Blu-ray, or if I feel like playing the Metal Gear Solid collection, which I just recently got for PlayStation 3. What else did I get for my PlayStation 3? I only got like 5 games for PlayStation 3. It's kind of sad, actually. Devil May Cry collection, which I don't know why the hell I bought. Oh, because it's all updated stuff. It's the Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3. I got the Uncharted collection. Ooh, I almost forgot. Part of my PlayStation. Actually, here they are. Ooh, these need to go into my fucking collection. I missed games for my PlayStation 1. I missed the most important game of PlayStation 1 ever. Take a guess on what I missed.
Final Fantasy VII.
That one too. I actually just found that as well. But no, the best game on PlayStation 1.
That's really debatable.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night, anybody?
Oh, yes, I should.
Come on, Symphony of the Night.
I've got Resident Evil 3 Nemesis here, which was shit. I also have Metal Gear Solid VR missions. Oh my god. I forgot I had this. Holy fuck. Oh, and it's pristine too. Did I buy this new? No, I couldn't have bought this new. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. So, I've got Journey for PlayStation 3, Devil May Cry HD Collection. I actually won this one at the last year's Midwest Gaming Classic, or 2 years Midwest Gaming Classic. The Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I won that. I forgot who I won that from, but I won it because I got the fastest time on it. It was kind of cool. And I got Uncharted 3 and then the dual pack. Oh, and like I said, the Metal Gear Solid, the Legacy collection, which obviously that's got all the games on it and remastered and everything. Yeah, my PlayStation 3 collection is limited, but I'm still going to probably pick up some good titles now that they're coming down in price. I just have to, you know, bide my time.
This challenge room's kicking my butt because I didn't necessarily have like a power-up prepared for it. And it's like I'm gonna use the ones the room provides me with. But if you're wondering where the cannons with the ropes come from in Kirby's Return to Dreamland, it's an original Kirby's Adventure thing. As shown there. This one actually brings me to a switch, so I do want to hit it.
But yeah, Evilpoptart, you were talking about how the Ouya is great for playing classic games. The Wii, I know a lot of people who just call it the emulation machine. Because you mod that thing and you can just slap a ton of emulators on it. Everything from NES, Super NES, 64 I believe you can, all the Game Boy stuff. And you can just emulate it on your Wii. And it's like soft mod, so it's super simple.
Oh, it is super simple. That's actually something that I should do more often. I guess the only biggest problem with the Wii is I don't like the original like classical controller that the Wii had.
No, I agree. If you turn like the normal Wii remote on its side, it makes like a perfect NES controller. But yeah, overall, I agree with what you're saying.
So what are the other emulators on it? Because I can do emulators on my Ouya like Neo Geo, Capcom, Genesis. I mean, I've got.
Yeah, you can probably do more with the Ouya, but if you don't have one, then the Wii's a good alternative for things like NES and Super NES.
Yeah,
and Game Boy.
But you see, I'd have to boot up my Ouya, which I can't right now. But I like the fact that I could do, you know, the Neo Geo. What else is there? The Capcom stuff and all the arcades. Which is one of the main reasons why I bought an Ouya was because you could do all the heavy arcading, like my Metal Slug and especially Neo Geo, Capcom games. Hell, you could do the Naomi. They've got a Naomi emulator on there. A lot of titles like that you get on the Ouya, and I don't think the Wii has those emulators.
But if someone doesn't have an Ouya and they don't want to buy one, and they have a Wii, it's a good
trying to buy one. They don't make them anymore.
As an interesting note, it's definitely very much in its heyday, but they are actually working on 3DS Homebrew right now, and there are some things you can do with it.
Yes, I've seen it.
It's very new, though.
I wouldn't risk bricking my 3DS over it quite yet, but they are making progress.
It is something they're making progress on, and that's something I'm actually looking forward to, because the 3DS is a relatively powerful system. It would be like modding a PSP, which I don't have a PSP myself.
I have a modded PSP. I have a modded 3000. Which is awesome for emulators too, especially for NES and NES. That was my first emulation for handheld. Was I specifically went out? Actually, that's what I traded my Modern Warfare 2 for. Was PSP, so I can mod the shit out of it. So my PSP is actually hacked. Got a huge library of hacked games for it. But mainly it was for emulator. It was to stick the SNES, Nintendo, Game Boy, and have that on the go as your go-to thing in college. I mean, hell, you remember, Miles, when I brought it in to have it hacked. I had,
Yeah.
what's his name do it at LTC?
What's his name?
I don't remember his name. I really don't. I can't honestly do it. Don't remember his name.
Okay, I remember at that time I actually had this little console called a Dingu
Dingu,
A320.
yes, your Dingu.
Yes, it was literally a portable console emulation machine. It was made for explicitly that purpose. You would be able to... ooh, I need to go get a hammer or something I can use underwater for that. It was made explicitly so that you could emulate games on it, and it was pretty decent. It wasn't necessarily the best, like, SNES simulator.
No, it
though,
was slow.
SNES
It was a little slow.
It was slow. Like, it was a really small console, and back in the day, it was also a really Chinese, like, knockoff kind of feel.
Knockoff.
I remember that because if you there was a Linux mod for it. If you install Linux, its performance went way. It was much better.
Yeah, here you go, new Dingu Black A380, $85. Dingu. What was the I know they have the Nvidia Shield now, which is like, oh my god, I want that so bad. I just can't justify $200 on it. It's like, oh my god. It was the big when we were doing this at LTC, Miles. What was the one emulator? I have to remember what was the handheld emulator. They're still behind on it, and they're basically they never released it fast enough. What the hell is it? It's not the Dual Retro. It was the one where they had to manufacture it. It's actually got a keyboard on it, 2 joysticks. What freaking emulator is that?
Oh, I have no clue. I gotta go get hammer and return back to this level, so we got a bit of time before we finish this world. Actually, oop, not that.
It's gonna bother me now because I wanted one, and it's still really expensive to get one. And what is this emulator's name? I'm gonna flip some tables again. Uno momento.
Okay. But let me see here. Any other like impertinent Christmas stories? I guess relatively speaking, every Christmas my grandfather will always ask me, "What do you want for Christmas?" And very commonly I'll tell him, "Oh, hey, I want this game." So he was usually one of my most reliable sources of games actually for Christmas time. Not too much anymore. He actually hasn't asked me what I want for Christmas this year. As of late, he's been usually like getting me something small, like a blanket or chocolate or something like that. I guess that's what happens when you get older. No more video games.
Pandora!
Just candy.
That's what it is. Open Pandora.
Oh.
It's the Pandora machine. They now have them finally on order. It's got a full keyboard on it. Oh, here, hold on. It's got an 800.
Oh, I remember this. Yes.
Yes. It's got an 800 by 480. And this was the emulator to come out for when it was supposed to compete with the PSP emulation. And it just had such a better emulator. You could load a bunch of shit on it. It had a lot of controls. It had QWERTY keys. It had an analog volume slider. And it had 2 SD HC slots on it, which could hold up to, 256 gig storage. So technically, I could put the entire NES, Super NES, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, and on one card, And the thing they were always touting was it had a 10-hour battery life on it. Full use battery, and then a 20-plus hour and low power mode. So, what do they want for these damn things now? Because this was Linux. This was a Linux one. What do they want for them now? I know they were out for a while, and only 2 companies have them. Wow, seriously? What the hell are they getting for these now?
Wow, this secret is tough. You can't use Stone for it. Okay, this might take a while, guys.
My favorite emulation on the go was always the Nintendo DS. I have 3 different DS flash cards. The first one was the DS Extreme, which this was like one of the earliest Nintendo DS flash cards. You actually had to plug a USB into the flash card and then plug it into your computer. It didn't have an external SD, and it had a 256 internal megabyte storage, and that thing was hilarious. And eventually the team that supported it kind of just disappeared, so then that kind of went down the drain. Then after that, I got a Cyclo DS, which was pretty cool. And I loaded so many emulators on that. You could have NES, Super NES, Game Boy. a whole bunch of things. Unfortunately, some games didn't work so well because it was the because it was the Nintendo DS. It wasn't, super powerful, but it was still a lot of fun. And then eventually I had to get a super card because the Cyclo DS wasn't compatible with DSi, and I eventually got a DSi XL. So I've done a lot of Nintendo DS flash card stuff and emulation. Not really because I wanted to download the games. Like, I have a really big Nintendo DS library. I have all the Ace Attorney games, all the Professor Layton games, all the main Mario games and stuff. So I just mainly wanted it so I could play emulation on the go. And that was in the time before they had like the store where you could like the eShop, so you could buy NES games. But still, the eShop sucks. They have like nothing on there.
I'm actually on this website and I can't find where Open Pandora. I mean, there's like, here's an XT connector and a Pandora case, but this website doesn't have them anymore. I mean, Pandora, they took too long coming to the market, is basically what happened to them. They were well sought after, and then they just, whatever company they went with to manufacture these things, there's so much better stuff out there now. Like, here's like a GCW-0. It's $160, and this product is no longer in stock. It's got a 1 GHz MIPS processor, powerful enough to run classic PC games, emulate game consoles, and all the games you grew up with. Homebrew. Wow, I'm trying to figure out. I seem to recall them wanting like $300 for Pandora, Open Pandora, which was outrageous. It's extremely outrageous. Where the hell is it? Pandora is a 1 GHz available from stock. No waiting time. Okay, well, let me order one, you pile of crap. Fine, we'll go to the shop in Germany. Apparently the one in the United States doesn't have it anymore. I guess I have to order one from Germany. Awesome. Oh wait, this product is no longer available from the German shop either. Ah! So it is gone defunct. I wonder if I'm going to Google this. I'm going to Google this, see who has one.
Go ahead and do that. I want to take a very quick break before we go to World 6 and actually World 7. So, before we tackle on the Origin Ocean, I guess a break, everyone.
All right.
Oh, look at Kirby go.
All right.
He's running away from the shark.
Run, Kirby, run!